F1 Reddit is a great place for data, memes, and sometimes actual insights. So the guys have pulled together a load for me to go over with you today. Lando on his terrible pit stop.
There was no tyres.
We saw that.
This was a problem because you need tyres to run the cars.
What's the biggest problem today on the
Pace,
Pace.
grip, and speed.
Typically a few things that you need to make a race car quick. Sainz's big lock-up at the end of the race, chasing down Verstappen. End of the race, you're pushing, aren't you? Obviously, that's an important part of the circuit to try and get nice and close. Ultimately, he would have probably had a poor exit coming out of there because he went in too hot. And, you know, as we always hear the commentators talk about, as soon as you add in any kind of steering angle, when you're still too hard on the brakes, it locks that front inside up and you just push a little bit wide. You know, but sometimes you actually don't lose too much time from that because you're going to shoot past the apex, so you go in quite quick, but then you just turn a little bit harder mid-corner, and yes, your minimum speed will be down a little bit compared to normal, but you're a bit further out, you can square the car off a little bit earlier, and then so you can get on the throttle a bit earlier as well. So maybe it did cost him some time, but probably not that much. Every F1 fan right now, this is brilliant, but I like this. First of all, I don't know what Chad Alonso means. Who's Chad? Come on, guys. I know I'm 10 years older than you all, but just give me a chance. Oh, this is what Tomo did in that. He put my head on the Chad. That's it. Okay. Yes. You were supposed to find loads of data and stuff for me to analyse, not just look at memes all the time. Memes. I know it's memes. Toto knew. Everybody has a target on their backs next year. God, he looks like a Bond villain, doesn't he, in that? That's so bad. I mean, to be fair to Lewis, that did look quite uncomfortable. I don't think I would like that. What was it, 10G of...
Oh no, it wasn't that much.
Oh, was it not? I thought they had... I don't know what it's complaining about. Oh, some data. Grid versus race finish position after Canadian Grand Prix, averages, medians, with and without retirements. Typically has quite a good start, doesn't he, Stroll? And then Russell, of the kind of top 10, Russell's moved the most, right? From 7.4 to 4th on average. Just that consistency is mad. Sainz is just a dot, 2.7. With retirements, look at Sainz going from 3.7 on the grid to 8.4 with what, he's had a couple of offs and a couple of mechanicals as well. If you want to look at the driving performance, you'd go with that retirements, but of course those retirements include driver error. Has been a big season for retirements, hasn't it? Like actually with the drivers at the front as well. It's making a huge difference. It's like it was in the late 90s. I remember watching races as a kid where there'd only be like 6 or 8 finishers at the end because they all blew up or went off. Crazy.
Get it?
I don't get it. Why do I not get it?
He's going to be racing in Formula
Oh, sorry, I didn't even see. 2023. You think he'll be gone that soon? If he continues for the next 6 or 7 races with his current form, he'll be all right, I reckon. He won't go to Formula E.
I think he'll go to NASCAR.
Yeah, he did something cool. Not that Formula E isn't cool. But it's not that cool. No, I saw this. First of all, I thought it was just a mistake. In the end, it was the caliper or something broke, didn't it, on the rear?
No, the disc
The front?
shattered.
That would make sense actually, because if the front disc broke, the pads would go together, not have any resistance on the front axle, but on the rear, because it locked the rears up, didn't it, and he spun around, so all of the force would have gone to the rear, so that does make sense. I'd love to have a go in one of those around Monaco. That's the right speed for Monaco, isn't it, that type of car? Those cars are manageable, and you can actually probably have a reasonable race around Monaco in those, compared to today where they're just a bit big. Max, Checo, Carlos and Leclerc reacting to Conor Moore. This is the dude that does the impressions.
We have to go? Oh my god.
Last week I thought I was very unlucky not to get
It's funny that they find them funny.
Yeah, that is amazing actually. Mick Schumacher when he's in the top 10. I love how on a drag car, just the body just goes, I've had enough. He's been in the top 10 a few times, right, this season. He's not having a great season, is he?
I think if Mazepin was putting in the results Mick Schumacher's putting in, we'd be roasting him.
So this is F1 visualised, share of points after round 9. So Magnussen, Schumacher, yeah, Magnussen's obviously been outperforming Schumacher. Latifi and Albon, yeah, same thing. Zhou and Bottas. I thought that would be more balanced.
Ocon and Alonso. You look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Like Alonso's been having a great season.
Yeah, he's been having a stormer season. Russell outperforming Hamilton. Verstappen outperforming Perez, as we know, but still having a great season. And Leclerc and Sainz are actually the most well balanced, which is probably unfortunate for Ferrari. It's funny that the top 3 teams are actually the most well balanced in terms of their driver points. I guess you could say because on average they're going to be finishing in the top 6 most of the time. Compare that to Albon, who gets 3 points and then it looks like he completely outperforms Latifi. Tonight's show will be dedicated to this fella, May You Fly High. Oh no, did he get taken out? Look at the stretch he's got on him, that's good form.
Latifi sounded so sad when he told the team that he hit a groundhog. Crofty named it Gary.
Okay, we can't show this, but I'm going to watch it. No! Oh, God. That was a squirrel, though. I mean, anyway.
Thanks, Scott.
I thought this actually when Hamilton and Verstappen were alongside each other.
Tyres seem, this season particularly, much colder on exit.
And then next year it's going to be even worse, isn't it? They drop the tyre blanket temperatures again. Sometimes you just can't get the tyres actually up to the temperature. So what you'd actually do sometimes is put some extra toe on the front and the rear tyres so that they're actually just scrubbing across the track even when you're going in a straight line, and that way creating some tyre temperature and pulling everything up. Even though it's slower because you're creating friction, you'd be quicker that way because you get the tyres up to temperature. A visual representation of Alonso holding the pack up. This was in Monaco. They'd had a tyre change. Everyone had gone on to the hards and there was quite a stint remaining. And Alonso, being Alonso, thought he'd just play around with the rest of the pack and hold them all up, which he did. I think it was, 3 seconds off the pace? When you're racing on any kind of track, you'll know where you need to be quick. Typically it's out of the slower corners before a long straight, so you'll make sure that you go into there, protect yourself, make sure that you get a good exit, save up the power that you need to accelerate down the following straight, and you'll know that more or less you'll be straight. That's even made easier at Monaco because, as we all know how tight and twisty it is, you have to be so much faster and still very brave to make any kind of overtaking manoeuvre stick at that track. So we actually filmed this the other day, but since the guys have sent me one more, which is from FormulaDank. Daniel Ricciardo, after seeing why Ricciardo's driving style isn't working at YouTube video. So I think that's one of ours. Driver 61 is no joke. Thank you, Black Diamond D. Really appreciate that. We're not a joke. One of the analysts we can really trust. I think I remember some of the drivers on Twitch saying that everything it said was pretty much bang on. Very cool. Who was that? Let us know if you actually know. Isn't his dad literally Nigel Mansell? He's not actually, his name's Kevin. We're not related, although we're from the same town and he is about the same age as my dad. My dad actually restores old Formula 1 cars. In fact, I was just down at the workshop the other day installing some cameras for those guys because we're going to be launching a new channel where we follow the rebuild of old Formula 1 cars, which is going to be really cool. So watch out for it because we'll be letting you guys know on this channel as well, if you're into that kind of thing. Danny did start driving better after the video came out. I'm sure he's aware where he needs to improve. So for those of you who don't know, I did race at a decent level for many years, and then I had been coaching for over a decade, working with lots and lots of different drivers, and actually that's where you really get into the depths of looking at lots of different driving styles and understanding different perspectives, because when you're driving yourself, of course you're always trying to adjust and improve your own driving style, but when you work closely with lots of different drivers, you see how different drivers approach different corner types, different issues that they may have on track, and that's where it gets really interesting because you almost have like this much broader view on how drivers can get fast, and actually some drivers have completely different driving styles and actually will ultimately end up with the same lap time. If you enjoyed this video, watch these other ones we made back before Imola. Thank you very much for watching, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.